was harder to be number one in our Sunday meeting than it was harder to be number one in the entire company. That was the group that I sold with. If you look at my my wedding pictures and you look at my groomsmen, Mark Rao, a guy named Hank Bonner, a guy named Aquila Turk, a guy named Matt Montgomery. So I think you guys know how successful Mark has become. It's kind of nice to have vacation homes and own multiple businesses and be able to do what you want to do whenever you want to do. Hank Bonner, same way, CEO, multiple companies, ownership interest in amazing businesses. Again, and Alan Vinson. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Alan Vinson. He also was, on our team, our group between Eagle and Blitz the first year. Had an amazing tailor business. He actually went to work with Tom James selling books after selling books, and then he started his own tailor business. Unfortunately, we lost him. One of my best friends died on his Harley Davidson last year, but ultra successful. And then Aquila Turk, I'm going down in 1 week to stay at his brand new oceanfront, massive second vacation home down in Key Islamorada. Pretty cool. And he's a doctor, and he came out and schlepped books door to door. And the skills that he learned out here, pretty cool. I mean, he's got positions in so many different biotech and medical startup companies because he understood how to not only be a doctor, which he didn't learn how to be a doctor out here, but he learned how to have relationships with people. And he learned how to do business. And most doctors are idiots. Most doctors do not know how to do anything business-wise because they never had any of these skills taught to them. They're great doctors. They keep you healthy. They can help you out. But when you have a doctor that has his shit together business-wise, that's a whole different animal. One of my friends, Matt Montgomery, not the same story. Became an alcoholic, drank too much, had all kinds of problems. So just because you're here doesn't mean you're going to be successful. Just because you're here means you have an opportunity to be successful. And that's on you, nobody else. Not on your student leader, not on your organizational leader. That's on you. So all your stats, everything that you're looking at, use the people that are here to benefit you, learn from them. But you got to rely on yourself. So the reason I came out here to sell books, my dad wanted me to. He wanted me to come get some experiences if I was going to be in sales. And the idea of selling books door to door did not float my boat. It did not sound exciting to me. So my dad had this friend, a guy named Mort Utley. Mort used to speak for my father in our company. He'd go train some of our salespeople. So I didn't know really who Mort Utley was. And I was in Mazatlan, Mexico on one of our company's Sizzler trips. We sold vitamins in my family's business. So my dad sits me down next to this guy named Mort. Mort starts talking to me. By the time I'm finished with dinner, I am selling books. I am going out doing this greatest job, greatest opportunity in the world. But I didn't want my dad to know right away that I was that sold. And by the way, if Mort Utley ever tried to sell you something, you will buy it. Okay, I mean, that was just the way it was. So I told my dad, hey, I'm thinking about that job, if I can have a motorcycle. And family rule at the Hersey house is no motorcycles. He said, no, I'll never allow you to, I'll never buy you a motorcycle. I said, no. I said, what if I go out and do this job and I make enough money to buy it myself? He said, what kind of motorcycle you want? I said, I want a Harley Davidson. He goes, okay, you make enough money selling books door to door in the summer to buy a brand new Harley? Go for it, yours. So week 6, summer 1, I called him and I said, so should I pick it out here in Owensboro, Kentucky, or wait till I'm home at the end of the summer to buy this Harley Davidson because I have enough money in the bank to do it now? He was like, oh God. So we bought a Harley Davidson with me. We rode bikes together for the next 25 years. So that's why I came out to sell books. My dad wanted me to get some experience. I wanted a Harley Davidson, and it seemed like a good place to meet in the middle. So some of my absolute best friends came from here. Some of the most incredible education that I got came from here. And I pulled this out because in the box in the bottom of my closet we didn't have computers when we sold books, so we had daily reports and weekly reports, and this is summer one. 7:52 to 10:15, day one. 7:58 to 9:30, 7:54 to 9:17, 8 o'clock to 10:25, 7:48 to 9:25, 7:50 to 7:30. I don't know what happened. I probably had to go follow someone and drive 100 miles to go home. But my first summer, I was a rock star. 131 units my first week. Pretty good. But when I told everybody in front of the room that I was going to be number one in the entire company, and that was the only goal that I had, it didn't really parlay with being number one in the company. A lot of people were doing better than that. But the thing that I did every single week is I worked the same number of hours. I averaged 81.5 hours every week. I averaged 12 sit-downs a day, every day, for 13 weeks. Those were the things I could control. Couldn't control customers. You're going to find out at the end of the summer, you look at your stats, number of people you sit down with, you might sell 1 out of 6, you might sell 1 out of 10, whatever it is, but you'll know your stat. By this point in the summer, you should know, okay, now, the way that you guys measure sit-downs, I think, is a little different than I did. If you're just sitting down, to me, I didn't count a sit-down demo unless I went through everything. If I got 3 minutes into my sit-down and realized they were not a candidate and it wasn't happening, I was out of there. That wasn't a sit-down to me. That was just the same as a door demo. I mean, it didn't take any time. So for me, I realized that every sit-down demo, if I did 2.2, I had a customer coming up. But it doesn't matter what your number is. Maybe that number's 10. Then you know you've got to do 30 to have your 3 customers. Whatever it is, they're all controllables. But that's a controllable that just comes out in an average. You can't control the number of customers, but you can control your demos. You can control your hours, and that's about it. So you have to have faith in yourself getting better. So my first week I did like 130 units. Second week, actually, I guess, I went from 130 to 229 to 329 to 425 to 529, and then I never missed PC again for the summer because I did everything the same. Now you get lucky some weeks when you're out there. You have a pony customer. They buy all your stuff because you got lucky and knocked on the right door. But luck's part of this job. But you don't improve through luck. You improve through your consistency, knocking on the same door, sitting down with the same people, doing the same thing. You hope for those ponies along the way, and they happen here and there. But if you're doing the same thing every single day, every single week, putting the same effort in, you're naturally growing. So that's what this job's about. It's about growing. You'll know some of these people. You know, Hayden was saying to some of the customers, we're the oldest direct sales company in the world. We've been around like 170 years. And I'm like, no, it's like 130 years. Then I realized that was me giving my pitch 35 years ago. So you're going to know a lot of these people 30 years from now, 35. Some of them you will not be able to remember their name. You will not be able to remember their face. But the ones that impact your life will be a part of your life forever. So, I was looking at this other, they sent out this thing years ago called the President's Report because my last summer they started something called the Mort Utley Club. I'd forgotten about this. I found it in a drawer and I was so pissed when I pulled it out because Mark Rao was on top of my picture and he hit Mort Utley Club 3 times that summer and I only hit it twice. And I hate losing. But I'm going to say I only worked for 10 weeks because I left for Europe. And I'm sure those last 3 weeks, I would have hit it 3 more times. So I was still better than Mark that summer in my mind. But we had a lot of competition, a lot of fun. We raised each other up. We helped each other out. Same thing with our businesses that we have now. I don't know if you know, Mark's opening up his own bar. in Jacksonville. I think that the grand opening is next week. So, you know, when it comes to construction on the project, all those things, we talk about those things because we help each other out. So it's the same thing. Whatever you want to do, I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if you want to be a social services worker. I don't know if you want to be a car salesman. I don't know if you want to own your own company. Whatever it is, take what you're learning these 13 weeks, because whatever you get paid this summer, what are you going to get paid? You're going to get a check at the end of the summer for $3 grand, $4 grand, $5 grand, $10 grand. My check my first summer was $17,008.23. So whatever your check happens to be, 30 years from now, the $17,000 isn't gonna mean shit. You'll remember it because it's cool, but if your end of the summer is $5 grand, great. $4 grand, $3 grand, $2 grand, what you take away from this summer, it sounds cliche, but what you learn in skills dwarfs what you will learn in cash. Even if you're the top dog. If you're the one that's walking away from a $30,000, $40,000 check at the end of the summer, believe me, that's life-changing for a college student. But the skills you learned 10 years from now when you're sitting down with whoever that is that you're trying to raise, you know, $1 million in capital because you've got an idea and you want to sell them that idea and you want to own that business, that's where this all pays off. So it's about the whole program, doing your work that you can control, and you can only control your hours, your sit downs, your attitude, and beyond that, it all kind of falls in place. So you've got great leaders that are out here that are doing a hell of a job. You've got a fun team, and I hope that you enjoy the last 3 weeks of your summer. This is not the time to take your foot off the gas. It's easy to say, I got 3 weeks left. No, these are the last 3 weeks you have to make a difference in what you're doing this summer. So kill it. You're out here. What else have you got to do? I mean, don't cheat yourself. Make it the best that it can possibly be. So I'm gonna fly back down to West Palm, get back into my day-to-day grind, but I had a good time coming out with Hayden, watching her show the program, watching her close the sales, watching her collect the cash. It was fun. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys for a couple hours before I take off, but thank you for the opportunity to come up. Appreciate it. You know, if you guys have any questions, I'll take a couple questions. I don't know if you do, but what you got? What's that? What do I do when I get discouraged? It's funny. I have a quote that we said every single day, and actually Hayden and I rolled it down. I had it on my visor. My visor looked like 3x5 cards, like all taped together like an accordion, and the one at the top said, "This is the beginning of a new day. When tomorrow comes, today will be gone forever, leaving at its place what I traded it for. I want it to be gain, not loss, good, not evil, success, not failure, so that I shall not regret the price that I paid for it." Because yesterday might have sucked. Today's a brand new day. Your goal period might have been really crappy from 8 a.m. until 11 o'clock. I remember day one, I looked at Hayden, I'm like, we have to have 2 more demos before 12 o'clock. Because I'm thinking crystallized goal periods. If you have your whole day and you're only thinking, that's something I didn't mention, if you're looking at your whole day, it's easy to be discouraged because you might not meet that whole goal. But if you've got 4 crystallized goal periods, 2 out of 3 or 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, you can hit those goals. So, hey, when that goal period's over, like water off a duck's back, man, it's done. You either hit it or you didn't. It's not gonna change. So you can make up and do better in that next goal period, but just concentrating on one goal period at a time. So that little quote helped me out a lot, and I said a lot of quotes. There were amazing quotes that kind of helped me through. I did a lot of self-talk. I was one of those geeks that really listened to everything that I was told by the organizational leaders. I bought into all of it. I was smart enough to be dumb enough to listen to the people that were rocking and rolling. And then I got the chance to actually start leading towards the end of my first summer because I was doing all those things, and I could relate to those first-year students even better than the organizational leaders would. So to be discouraged, I just talk to myself, but forget, put it behind you. Whatever didn't happen, put it behind you. But do what you know you have to do to succeed. And it's a lot easier to have a lot more encouragement instead of discouragement. Yes.
So like following Hayden, what advantages do you see that we have now that you guys didn't have back then?
If I could have taken 10 minutes or 5 minutes to sell the leads program and got 30 units out of $100 sale, I didn't really understand the unit contribution and how it played out. We didn't go over units. We didn't talk about units yesterday. It was all about presentation. But I think if I had looked at the leads program and understood that, and understood that I could sell something for that little amount of money and still get paid the same that I do from $600 sets of books and so forth, I would figure out a way to make that a hard press. I mean, it sounds terrible. I might not even show the book sometimes. I might just sit down and talk with the family about the leadership program. It might be that you're finding out that kid's going into HVAC school, into something where he really isn't necessarily going to. The books benefit anybody, anytime. I still have my student handbooks. But talking to that family about being able to give that kid lessons and have somebody walk him through and hold his hand, because the parents probably don't have the skills that they want their kids to have. Parents kept saying, she kept asking, why did you invest in your kids' education? I want them to do better than me. I don't want them to have the struggles that we have. I mean, these are the things that we were hearing the last 2 days. You all hear the same thing. But with that program, for $100 a month, now listen, you might not want to do it for the next 5 years or maybe even 2 years. But if you invest in the next 6 months or a year with your child and you see that difference, it'll be the best investment that you ever made, especially if you're not going to college, or especially if he is going to college. Whichever one, doesn't matter which way they're going, that's an awesome program. So that would be a big thing that I see is different. I love, like this morning, Hayden and I were talking about the augmented reality. Our last customer last night, she showed that. She's like, sometimes, you're doing other things and you don't have an opportunity to sit down and read with your kids as much as you would like to. But instead of having a babysitter, this is something that actually, instead of waste their time, educates them and saves you time. So it's like a double whammy. So using that augmented reality as something to not just pacify your kids, but educate your kids, it's a double win. So I think that's pretty cool as well. All right, thank you.